using old school roots with a modern edge.
Hank Ruff is a rising star with his debut EP hitting #1 on iTunes. And now he's here to join the All Indiana Artist family. Welcome, Hank. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this
Congratulations on #1 on iTunes. What's that like to scroll and see you #1 and then your name right beside it?
I was taking a lot of screenshots real quick. I was like, no one's going to believe this. I better have it on photo doc. So it was cool just knowing that many people were supporting the music and bought it on iTunes to get it all the way up there. So
I love that you brought that up too, because I was thinking of the days when you would have to essentially be with a major record company, then release a record, and then people would maybe buy it. You're getting immediate reaction from something you know that you're proud of, but hearing that people are also proud of it must feel really cool.
Yeah, it is. A lot of the songs on that EP my dad and I wrote together, so it was really cool to have that recognition, you know.
You mentioned your dad, and you've been writing since you were in high school. Is he one of your motivations and kind of who helped you learn how to write music?
Yeah, I mean, I really started performing when I was little in his band that he had, his local country band. I played the canjo. It was a soup can and a meter stick with one string on it. It made one note. We called it the canjo. I don't think that's you can't look it up. There's no wiki for a canjo, but we called it that. So, yeah, it started then.
When was that first moment that you thought, you know what, I think I want to follow in those footsteps and do music on my own?
I always loved just doing it for fun and playing around a campfire with my uncles and whatnot. And at IU, I went to Indiana University, and I put together a group so that we could play some fraternity parties and stuff like that, just doing stuff like that. And pretty soon we had enough following that by the time I graduated a couple years ago, I was like, why not keep rolling with this thing, you know? Yeah. So
that's incredible. And now from the canjo to a festival, the Hoosier Country Jam, right?
Yeah.
What's that like? Because a festival is different vibes, right? It's different energy. It's all about the music. And if you really don't have the chops, people are going to know in the festival circuit. They'll challenge you.
And you got all other peers and people you look up to playing on it too, so it's always cool. Jake Dodds, who's going to be on this, you know, some of my first gigs were opening up for Jake, so that's cool. I've been playing around with Cody Eichert, who's also on this bill. Yeah, Cody and I, ever since I was in high school, we would get together and do Facebook Lives together. And then Colin Ray, who I don't know yet, but I'm excited to meet him. I grew up hearing a lot of his stuff because he had some major hits in the 90s, so I'm excited to be on a bill with someone like that.
You brought up the 90s, and I was listening to you kind of warm up earlier and do some sound checks. It has that 90s country vibe, like that old school, what we all kind of grew up with, but still with that little bit of modern, like, honky-tonk that we've got now.
Yeah.
How did that all come to be? Who are some of your influences that led you to that?
So of the newer guys, John Party is a guy who I think is just, you know, finding that groove of, you know, it's country music still, but it's still got something to it that the younger crowds might still be able to stomp their foot to. So I love John Party. Miranda Lambert has always been someone who I've respected a lot. She does her own thing always. So artists like that are really, you know, weaving that gap where if you're scrolling the radio, you know it's the country station, but there's still some beat, some rocking to it. So
a station that anybody want to stop to when they hear it, you want to make sure people stop that dial when they hear your music.
Yeah, and I want them to know, oh, this is the country station, you know. They're not wondering, well, what is this?
Let's talk about this EP as well, because we mentioned it going to #1. What were the influences for you in putting this together?
The influences putting it together, I guess, you know, to be honest, I'd written some songs during COVID when I could only see my dad and myself and my mom and just a few people. And we were writing a lot during then, and I had these songs that I was like, let's put them on an EP and put them out to the world and see what happens. And that's what happened, I guess, you know.
Or are you going to be playing one of those songs for us? What song you're going to be doing today?
Yeah, so the one we're going to do, it's not on that EP. It came out before that, actually. I call it our hit song. Maybe some big artists wouldn't necessarily call it a hit for them, but this passed 1 million streams a few months ago, and it's kind of been the song that for the past few years at the live shows has really caught on. Just a simple little country song. It doesn't make you think too much. It's a simple little country song. It's called If the Boot Fits, so I figured that'd be a good one to do today.
All right, well, let's just see if the boot fits then.